When we, put this program together and we made our rounds to various companies to get their sponsorship support, Pure Storage just jumped right on it and said, that's what we want to be part of. And Nick Saki is with Pure Storage, and I'm going to take a few minutes and chat with Nick. Really, I've gotten to know Nick. It's a really interesting story. He started off as an infantry soldier in the Army, worked his way up into the intelligence unit within the Army, had a terrific career. He was actually a customer of Pure Storage, liked the company so much he ultimately joined them. So, Nick, thanks for your support, and thanks for being here. I have a question, Nick. Your company is involved in a lot of different areas. What role does Pure Storage have in facilitating innovation within government?
So Dr. Siddiqui pointed out really one of the chief challenges facing us in government today. It's we've got data. We've got data coming out of our pockets. We get data from everywhere. We share data with each other. That data needs to tell us something. And this is acutely true in the intelligence and national security space, but the value of information has a time component to it. And the faster we can get to the answers we're seeking, the faster we can answer new questions that come up as a result, the more valuable that data is, the more effective, the more efficient our operations are as an agency and as a nation. So the value of data is often bound up in our inability to really access it at the speed we want. And that's what Pure Storage's principal reason for being is how do we enable people to innovate and understand the things that their data has to tell them in a way and at a scale that addresses today's immense data holdings.
You know, one of the things that was just mentioned in the previous panel is that sometimes the procurement process doesn't allow for a lot of, especially smaller companies, to participate. And by the time, the government goes through the whole solicitation process, sometimes they're buying technology that was last year's technology. Yeah. How does Pure Storage handle that?
So that is a great question. I had a mentor of mine who once said, we're buying yesterday's technology with today's dollars to deploy tomorrow. And the other thing that Kevin McTighe said that I observed when I got to the Pentagon was bureaucracies are designed to maintain, but not to innovate. So how does Pure Storage enable this? One of the things that we understood was that customers need to be able to continually rely on the foundations of their infrastructure to modernize, to keep pace with the changes in technology, to implement those seamlessly and simply and non-disruptively so that you can keep working rather than having to stop and change your tires and your oil every 500 feet. And then the longevity that systems have in government is very different than the commercial model. I had a data center down in Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and I had a 14-year-old storage platform that Sun Microsystems had stopped supporting 7 years before, but it was still working. And it still had data on it that we needed to use, and it was connected to a particular system. So what we do at Pure Storage is we actually modernize the platforms as they age. So every 3 years, basically on a subscription basis for paying the maintenance and sustainment on the system, we upgrade the controllers in place non-disruptively. And this gives our customers a 40 to 60% performance advantage generation over generation. To put it very simply, it is very much the same sustainment model as your smartphone. So every 2 years, you get a new phone, it's upgraded, it's more powerful, all of your data migrates over seamlessly. In this case, we're not even talking about a data migration. But voila, it's working, and you've got a better device. Well,
so there's no downtime.
There's no downtime. So we want to take the risk out of data migrations. We want to take the challenge, the programmatics, the scheduling out of doing forklift upgrades. We want you to be able to work.
Now, Pure Storage has put a stake in the ground, specifically in artificial intelligence.
Yes.
And in artificial intelligence is obviously it's synonymous with innovation.
Yeah.
In layman's terms, because, you're talking to a layman here, what is it about your technology that enables artificial intelligence to do so well?
So we've been working artificial intelligence in the federal government for almost as long as the idea's been around. Dr. Mate and I were talking, we have a mutual friend in Dr. Cott, who's the chief scientist at Army Research Lab and has been doing artificial intelligence research for 25 years. We are at an inflection point. The ability of compute to actually process huge quantities of data in parallel is real. The software frameworks for making that happen are also readily available. The algorithms for processing the data are open source. But the storage, the data service component of the infrastructure, has to be able to feed the AI engines at a data rate that lets them work efficiently and effectively. This also has to be cost efficient. So we've got that now with memory-based storage too. And that's why Pure Storage makes all of our storage out of flash memory today.
Flash memory.
Other technologies will emerge and we'll adopt those as well. But you've got to have storage that can keep up with the rest of the components of the enterprise if you want to get a good result out of your artificial intelligence, your data analytics engines, your server virtualization,
Great.
Everything. So that's what
Nick,
we do.
Terrific. Again, thank you so much for your support of this event, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you, Steve.